Hello everyone. Welcome to the video lecture series of Theory of Automata and Formal Languages, where we are into part number 8 of the video lecture series. In this lecture series, we have covered almost till part 7, where we have covered all the topics of grammars, its derivation, its different types, its property known as ambiguous, simplification of context-free grammar, then two important topics, that is Chomsky normal form and Greybach normal form. But in this part 8, we will be learning about Chomsky hierarchy. Sorry to say, but this topic I have extended to the last one, as because I want to deal with every grammar topics, so that you will be clear enough with the concept of grammar or the concept of production rule. Actually, this is the one which you should have studied at the first one, but at that time you won't have a clear idea about what is going on. So that's why I have extended this topic at the last one. Okay, so basically, let us start with the topic that is known as Chomsky hierarchy. Actually, in the year 1956, Noam Chomsky, the person, he gave a mathematical model for a grammar, okay, where a set of rules has been defined, and these set of rules varies with the supremacy of the machines. Okay. Now, as we know that there are different types of machines over in a computational world. So, in order to differentiate the power or the supremacy of these machines, they have segregated these machines into different levels. And to understand those machines, there are a certain set of rules that has been predefined, and those set of rules are nothing but the grammar. Okay, so Chomsky hierarchy has given four levels where different types of grammars has been defined. Okay, so besides starting off with this topic, let me give a basic definition of a grammar, which is nothing but a grammar is nothing but a set of rules to define valid sentences in any languages. So Noam Chomsky has defined these set of grammars into four levels. So let us study this particular hierarchy. Now I have drawn a particular circular shaped diagram where you can find out all the levels, and finally I will also let you know the you can say the supremacy of all the types, like which level is in the higher rate. Okay, so that we will discuss later on. Okay, now let us move to the Chomsky hierarchy, where I have start off with this is actually like from type 3 to type 0. Okay, so type 3 is the first one, then type 2, type 1, and type 0. Okay, now if you check with the type 3, so type 3 has been divided in has been assigned the regular languages and the regular grammar. Okay, so the language that generally supports this grammar is nothing but your regular language. Now, definitely in type 3, the machines that you will come across will be your finite state automaton. That is nothing but your finite automata, NFA, DFA, epsilon NFA. Okay, so these will be the machines. So you can say that in type 3, the regular language will be the language that is being used is your regular language, and the set of rules is nothing but your regular grammar. That means the generator. Okay, and the acceptor, that means the machines which will be used in type 3 is your finite state automaton, and which is nothing but FA. Okay, now let us move to the next hierarchy, next level, that is nothing but your type 2. And type 2, the language will be your context free language, and the grammar that will be covered is your, or that will be generated is your context free grammar. And here the machine that will come across, this machine will come with a new feature, which will be nothing but your memory. So this machine is nothing but your push down automata, and this will be learning in your unit number 4. Okay, now next comes your type 1, where the language is context sensitive language, and the grammar or the generator is context sensitive grammar. and acceptor, that is the machine, will be your linear bounded automata. Actually, this topic has been skipped and we will be directly jumping off to type 0. Why? The reason why we will discuss once we will cover the push down automata, because till now you are doing or you are learning something which is without memory. If I skip unit number 3, you are learning about context free grammar. But if I talk about unit 1 and unit 2, this is without memory concept. That means we are only dealing with the finite languages, or we are dealing with certain languages which are without memory. Okay, so let us start with unit 4, and then once we are done with unit 4, we will reach unit 5. You will understand the concept of memory data structure, what is being used in PDA. And then we will come across with unrestricted grammar, that is the last type, where you will understand why we have skipped context sensitive language or context sensitive grammar. Okay, so moving to the last level, that is your type 0. Type 0 is having the language known as recursively enumerable language. It is having a very beautiful meaning behind this. I will let you know once we will start off with the topic. Okay, now the grammar that is being accepted is known as unrestricted grammar. Okay, and lastly, in type 0, the acceptor or the machine will be the most powerful one. You can say undefeatable right now, and that is your Turing machine. Okay, so this is the hierarchy of your as suggested by the Noam Chomsky. Okay, now let me define what Noam Chomsky has defined for all the types of grammars, because you should know entire concept lies in these grammars. Okay, because Chomsky hierarchy is based on the types of grammars, not on the types of language or the machines. This is what extra thing I have given to you, or extra thing that has been mentioned in Chomsky hierarchy. The main concept or the main focus comes with the types of grammar. So you have to understand what are the different types of grammar, then we can move forward with unit number 4. Okay, so let us check what are the different types of grammar. Okay, so as I've already mentioned with you that the types are starting with regular grammar, then context-free grammar, context-sensitive grammar, and context recursively enumerable language, that is unrestricted grammar. Now, if I talk about these 4 grammars, only the difference lies in the production rule. That's it. Again, I'm repeating, if we talk about the difference between all these 4 grammars, only the difference lies in the production rule. That's it. So what it says, first of all, regular grammar, as I've already told you, is dependent on the linear grammar concept. So regular grammar will be, as I've already taught you in, I think, part number 5, if I'm not wrong. So you can check in part number 5 where we have defined the different types of grammar, regular grammar. Okay, there we have understood regular grammar in terms of derivations and in terms of linear grammar. Okay, so let me check. Regular grammar can be divided into 2 types, left linear and right linear. So what it says is that regular grammar can be either left linear or right linear, but cannot be both. Okay, this is the general definition of regular grammar. That means left linear means if we are having a production of this format, alpha tends to beta, where in the beta side, if the non-terminal is on the extreme left-hand side of the production, then it is your left linear. Apart from that, there should not be any non-linear, non-terminal symbol. Or if the non-terminal symbol is on the extreme right-hand side of the production, then it is your right linear. And apart from that, there should not be any kind of non-terminal. Got it? So a regular grammar will be always either a right linear, left linear, or a right linear, but should not be both. This is the general description of regular grammar. Now let us move to context-free grammar. Okay. Now in context-free grammar, I have already mentioned over here, alpha tends to beta is the production format, and in the alpha side, it should be always exactly one non-terminal. That's it. And beta should always belongs to V union T. V means set of non-terminals and T means set of terminals. So it should be a combination of both to the power asterisk. Keep in mind, asterisk generally starts with epsilon, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and so on. So beta can be also an epsilon or can be a combination of all the elements. but that means non-terminal terminal. But in the alpha side, it should be only exactly one non-terminal. That's it. Got it? Now, coming to type number 1, you can again pause the video and you can check what I have discussed with type number 3 and type number 2. Now in type number 1, context sensitive grammar. Now here, if we check again the focus we have to give on production rule, that is alpha tends to beta, where the difference comes here. Alpha and beta can be belongs to V union T whole to the power plus. Plus means union. This union concept means it can be, it should not be epsilon. It should start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so and so, as we discussed in regular expression chapter. Because plus and asterisk, the difference lies in plus and asterisk is that plus generally starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, ... Correct? And asterisk generally starts off with 0, 1, 2, 3, ... Therefore, if we talk about this to the power plus means it cannot be epsilon. It should always be either a non-terminal or a terminal or a combination of both. Clear? And there should be one more difference here is that length of this alpha should be always less than the length of beta. It cannot be equal. It can be equal, but it cannot be greater alpha. Okay. So these are the two conditions that you should keep in mind. Okay. And now moving to the last topic, that is your type 0, where the production is alpha tends to beta. Now here alpha should belongs to V union T to the power plus. That means alpha cannot be an epsilon, but alpha can be either a non-terminal or a terminal or a combination of both. But in terms of beta, there is no restriction. That's why it is said as unrestricted grammar. Is this clear? So the difference lies in this only, that in type 0 only alpha cannot be epsilon, but it can be a combination of both or non-terminal or terminal. But in beta there is no restriction. It can be epsilon, it can be non-terminal, it can be terminal, it can be a combination of both. In here type 1, both alpha and beta should not be epsilon. Got it? And here if I talk about type 2, alpha should be always exactly one non-terminal. Beta can be a combination of both epsilon or non-terminal or terminal. That's it. And type 3 is nothing but either left linear or right linear, but cannot be both. So these are the 4 different categorized grammar, and you should always remember the format of this, and because this will always help you to differentiate these grammars or these productions. Okay, or sometimes the question generally asks that the productions will be given to you, and the question will be asked that find the type of the grammar. So that time you should have a clear knowledge about what the definition of production is all about. Okay, so if I talk about the hierarchies of this side, type 3 to type 2, then type 2 to type 1, and then finally type 1 to type 0. So this is the hierarchy. If I ask you that can you put into you can say order of growth or order of higher precedence, then I can write down finally is that type 3 is always a proper subset of type 2, always a proper subset of type 1, and always a proper subset of type 0. So the most powerful grammar is your unrestricted grammar, that is your type 0. And the powerful machine as such is Turing machine. So this is all about your context-free, your Chomsky hierarchy. If any doubt, please comment below. And you can also follow all the parts one after another, then it will be very much clear if you are studying this particular chapter nicely. Or if you jump off from one chapter to another chapter, then it might be a little bit difficult. But yes, there is an option to go back as well. So my suggestion to you is that please follow all the parts one after another, and then you will be getting a clear idea. As I have already mentioned in the first part, where introduction, I have given which part of the video covers what topics. Okay. So this is all about Chomsky hierarchy. We will look into the next video lecture where we will come across with unit number 4, that is push down automata. But before that, I will also give you a link where 25 to 30 questions will be there, practice questions will be there, which you please keep on trying. But I will give some time duration also, and after that I will also display the solutions for that. Thank you.